Hey there, everyone, and welcome to my latest coloring journey. I'll be sharing pages I've colored from the months of October and November with some incredible coloring books, each with its own unique theme and charm. From whimsical adventures to nostalgic memories, these pages were so much fun to bring to life. I'll talk about what inspired me to choose each page, the colors I experimented with, and even a few tips about the paper quality. So, whether you're new to coloring or you're a seasoned colorer, I hope these pages inspire you to pick up your supplies and dive into a creative coloring world of your own. And you may even get a special glimpse of my cat Otis today because he loves getting in the middle of my coloring projects. First off is the Travel the World coloring book that I purchased from Dollar Tree. I'll be sharing two beautifully detailed pages that I have colored. The first features a whimsical goldfish themed hot air balloon surrounded by other floating balloons in the clouds. The thought of riding in a hot air balloon is somehow magical to me, yet I don't think I would ever have the nerve to go up in one that high in the sky, but I think it would be wonderful to look at the ground below, to see the clouds above you, and just take all that in. That's what really drew me to this page, is just the thought that maybe one day I can go up in one. And the second page is a serene scene of a girl sitting by the water on a boat deck wearing a charming straw hat. Both pages turned out incredibly vibrant, but I did notice that the paper quality isn't ideal for alcohol markers because it bled through quickly and even at one point almost tore my page. Colored pencils are definitely the better choice for this book. I'm still very happy with how these pages turned out and the color combinations that I used, but I have learned that when I pick up a coloring book now in a store, paper quality is something that I'm going to feel of first. Next up is the Welcome Home coloring book, where I colored only one page, but this page had a beautiful piece of furniture in it that was filled with art and decor within its doors. And this page brought back memories of an old empty house that I once explored as a child. There was a similar piece of furniture in this old house, and it's something that I've never forgotten. And it almost felt to me like that piece of furniture could tell a story. That nostalgic feeling inspired me to bring this page to life with vibrant colors. Just like the previous book, though, I noticed the paper quality wasn't great for alcohol markers because they did bleed through. So colored pencils are also the way to go with this book. But I really wanted to bring this page to life with the vibrant colors, to bring happiness and to also help me remember that old piece of furniture in that house that I explored as a child. Next, I dove into a fun Goblin Core coloring book. While I've never been a huge fan of mushrooms, they're slowly growing on me, at least in coloring books and even some home decor. This page was such fun to color with its whimsical little goblin hiding among nature. It's absolutely adorable, and coloring it made me wish I had more time to let my imagination run wild and immerse myself in this little goblin's lifestyle. I chose to give the mushrooms some bright red to brighten it up, and I let the goblin sort of just mask itself within the colors. And of course, I love polka dots, so I couldn't resist adding a few little polka dots to his hat. I also spent some time with the book Afternoon Tea, where I colored 3 pages. Teapots always remind me of dreaming about being a high-class person and wishing I could host fancy tea parties, even as a child. Now as an adult, I get to enjoy visits to a local tea room that we have that's surrounded by beautiful flower decor, elegant teapots, and of course those dainty little foods. Teapots just have that timeless charm that screams sophistication and grace to me. I loved bringing these pages to life, and it gives me hope that maybe one day I'll still have that tea party. And as you can see, Otis has made his appearance trying to get some attention. I chose the blues on this page to give it a calming effect, and the chairs just scream that someone needs to be sitting in them with a good book, just sitting by the fire and relaxing. So that's why I chose this page, because everything looks so peaceful and so warm and cozy. And Otis seems to have the same feeling about being warm and cozy today. And purple is one of my favorite colors, so that's why I brought out purple for this page to go along with the bright pinks, and of course all the dainty foods and cute teapots to go along with it. Up next is the Circle of Life coloring book, which has pages that are a little more intricate than I'm used to, but I couldn't resist diving in, and I'm so glad that I did. I experimented with a mix of bright and dark colors, and the results were so amazing. One page features a desert scene which brought back memories of a family vacation out west as a child, with the dry air and the cactus everywhere. The other page has an hourglass, and that instantly reminds me of the Wizard of Oz and the Wicked Witch's iconic hourglass from that movie. It's weird how that's what an hourglass reminds me of. These nostalgic connections made coloring this page even more meaningful. This next page is a pirate ship, and pirates always remind me of Jack Sparrow now. I left the sky to be kind of a darker color, and I chose lighter colors for the water, that way the fish would show up better. I'm pretty happy with how the sky blended. The bird nest page is a page that takes me back to summer days sitting on the porch, watching birds flutter around a bird feeder. It feels like a celebration of nature, and these birds look so proud of the nest they've built and the precious eggs that are waiting to hatch. It's just a sweet reminder for me of simple joys and the beautiful circle of life. In the Forest Core coloring book, I focused on keeping things simple. These pages were all about slowing down and enjoying the process of coloring without having to overthink any of the details. It felt so relaxing to just let the colors flow naturally and embrace a more minimalistic approach. Sometimes it's just nice to take a step back and enjoy the moment with your coloring, and that's exactly what I did with these pages. And finally, let's talk about the last 3 books that I have colored from. At first glance, I thought these designs were too plain and felt almost too childish for an adult to even attempt. But wow, was I wrong. These books have quickly become some of my favorite pages to color. Their simplicity leaves so much room for creativity, allowing you to experiment and make each page your own. And they're perfect for when I just want a quick coloring fix. I was so happy to see this page with the camper on it, because it immediately reminded me of a summer where we had a camper out at the lake, and me and my husband cooked breakfast. We sat outside on the porch We got to look at the water and the sunset, and it was just a very special time for both of us to have together. The Stress Relief Coloring Book by Coco Wyo is one of the first that I bought, and you can tell that I really enjoyed it because that is the book that I have colored the most pages in, as you can tell by all of the tabs. And it really surprised me that I liked this type of book because I just assumed it would be too easy to color, and yet it has been the most fun. This food page is one of my favorites simply because I love how the colors turned out, the color choices that I made. The colors on the French fries just worked out so perfect with the shading that I did around the edges, so I could say I was pretty proud of this page. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the pages that I've colored the last month or two. It's amazing how each book and page can tell a story, how it can spark your memory, or even provide a moment of relaxation. Coloring has been a rewarding hobby for me, whether it's experimenting with bold colors, revisiting childhood dreams, or just unwinding with a simple design. I'm still fairly new to coloring. I'm not perfect, and I definitely don't do anything fancy. And yes, I do mess up sometimes. I do catch myself coloring something the wrong color or not realizing what it is I really am coloring. But for me, it's all about the process and finding joy in something to take my mind off other things. And I'll be preparing these books for the next round of coloring pages that you'll see next month. There are a few pages that I started on here and there, and I've placed them aside because for whatever reason, the day that I was working on them, I wasn't happy about doing that design, or I wasn't liking the color choices, and it just wasn't turning out the way I wanted it to. This mermaid design is one of those. I'm not sure if I just wasn't liking the color combinations, but I just put it aside, thinking that I might go back to it one day, and this has been a few months ago now, and it's still sitting here, and I haven't went back to it yet. The skull design is another one. The skull and then the crystal combo with the flowers, I don't know, I just didn't feel creative after I started it, and I picked up the pink colors and just started going for the bone part of the skull, and frankly, I just wasn't feeling this one either, and kind of felt like I had messed that part of it up, so I've set it aside as well. Maybe I can come back to it when I feel like maybe redoing the colors, or can come up with some other idea on how to fix it. This page with the snail and mushrooms on it, I don't know. I wasn't happy with the browns that I chose for this one, and I was a little confused because of how the snail looked. So I did get the ladybug finished, but I'm just not really feeling this page either. So I've once again set it aside. And this floral design, I started using coloring pencils because I haven't really used coloring pencils in a very long time. I've been sticking to mostly alcohol markers at this point. So I started with the coloring pencils, and I quickly learned that I was not liking how they were coloring on this particular design, or even the color that I chose. So this design got set aside as well. And the reason that I probably don't enjoy this one right now is because I just bought some cheap coloring pencils, and they're really not coloring that well. So maybe later on, when I look for some better quality colored pencils, I can finish this design as well. I do have one current coloring project that I'm working on in this book, and it's a Christmas coloring page. I've just used basic Christmas colors to make it bright and happy, and you will get to see the finished product in next month's video when I show you everything that I have colored for the month of December. So for both months of October and November, I did a total of 39 coloring pages. I did 17 from the Stress Relief, 5 from Cozy and Cute, 3 from Girl Therapy, 3 from Forest Core, 4 from Circle of Life, 1 Goblin Core, 3 Afternoon Tea, 1 in Welcome Home, and 2 in Relax. So that gave me a total of 39 pages for those 2 months, which probably isn't a lot of pages, but I'm still happy with how everything came out and really surprised that I have colored that many pages. And if you enjoy watching pages being colored fully, I do put out videos every few days on projects that I've been working on, some of the smaller ones, and even some more of the more intricate, detailed pages. So if you're interested in watching those, be sure to check those out on my channel. And be sure to check out the next video where I go through my books trying to pick the next coloring projects. Some I already have in mind, and others I'm just going to look through the books and see if anything catches my eye. So be sure to check out that video next. I'm already so excited to start coloring on my next pages so that I can share all of those with you next month. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend a few moments with me today. Grab your supplies, start coloring, and just have fun. And I will see you next week. Happy coloring, everyone.